We'll play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a airliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along. Well,
Come on, welcome aboard Indiana Sports Beat coming to you here on this Friday.
Grab the bowl of that Skyline chili.
Studios. There you go, a little extra music there. Verdell Jones sitting in. Verdell, how you doing, man?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Great, great to have you back. It's been a long week. We've had some football and basketball to talk about, and some cancellations. Not a lot of positive and good, but we'll make the best out of it.
Yeah. This week was a tough week all the way around, man. It's some disappointments to say the least, but hey, we made it through. We're here on a Friday. That's all you can ask for.
And speaking of disappointments, I guess we might as well get this one out of the way. Verdell running for mayor, and we've had a technicality trip us at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, we did, man. It was something that we were going back and forth on if we were even going to run this year. Our original plan was to wait for 4 more years to try to make a run for mayor. But our current situation kind of fast-paced the project, and unfortunately, there's some minor technicalities that they wouldn't let us be on the ballot for this year. So, it's a learning experience. We're still very active in the community and have a lot of big plans as a citizen for the community. So we're not upset. We're taking this as a learning lesson and moving forward. And personally, my wife is probably super excited because now we get to enjoy our marriage a little bit more.
More honeydewing. More honey.
Exactly.
Well, the people of Champaign-Urbana will be treated better the next time. You got them scared, obviously, man. They're afraid of what you can bring there. But so how's the foot? Last time we talked, you're hobbling around.
Yeah, so I'm still in the boot, unfortunately. It's still kind of bruised up. The swelling has gone down quite a bit, but it's just throbbing, man. Every day is just – usually around like lunchtime, it's just boom, boom, it's throbbing. So, hopefully I was supposed to be out of the crutches Wednesday. I'm still kind of using them here and there when I go to the store and stuff. So, it's just one of those injuries that just kind of takes some time to heal. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully so, man. It's no fun to be hobbling around, especially during the holidays. You got so much to do, hanging Christmas lights, putting up the tree. Verdell's probably going out in the woods and chopping down the tree and all, stringing the popcorn and all that stuff.
No, I'm not quite there yet, man. But yeah, it's the worst timing. It happened right after we announced for running for mayor, and so just trying to move around with that. Trying to, the holidays are here. People are wanting to get stuff done with our company, so it's the worst timing ever, man. But sometimes God will sit you down just so you can take a break for a second too. So it was probably needed on my part.
It's never any fun. That's for sure. But we'll hopefully, like you said, get through it as quickly as possible. Basketball this week, Indiana was back in action. Verdell against Florida State in a game that I've spoken about it several times since then. Very surprised on the great effort that Indiana put forward. I thought that was the game they were going to just be down the whole time, and they were in it the whole time. They were battling to win that game the whole time, right up to the end. Trayce Jackson-Davis, he became a little more of a man that day because I talked about it, that he used the Texas game, and they basically just took him outside and whipped his butt. And then he came back and said, okay, enough of that. He came back and fought in that game, and it was good to see, and you can definitely see a team that's looking to fight.
Absolutely, man. And just piggyback off what you said about Trayce, he got popped in the mouth against Texas, but I think you always find out what a player's made of when they have to respond. And I feel like ever since that Texas game, he has responded tremendously. He's been playing at a high level. And what was exciting to see against Florida State was the fight that the team had. I think if you look over the past few years, you just didn't quite get that same sense of unity and fight to get togetherness that this team has. And that's huge. That's what you need for a winning team. So, it's a long season. It's a disappointing loss, but it's a lot of positive things to take from that. I know it's hard to say, oh, we lost, how can it be positive? But, from a coaching standpoint in that locker room, there's a lot of great things that you can take from that game and continue to build on.
Absolutely. Let that go, Noah. This week was also a moment marked in time. Everybody looking at go ahead and run that clip, Noah. Everyone looking at this week, especially 9 years ago, or not, the shot.
Watford for the win!
Yes! Everybody knows that sound. It's so funny. You can get rid of it now, Noah. Kentucky fans absolutely hate that clip, But the only reason we're running that, of course, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the 9-year anniversary of that. Everybody that was everywhere. This is so funny, but that's got to be that's something that probably will never go away. It's just one of those iconic moments. So cool to be a part of. Tried to get Christian on today. He was too busy. We'll get him on next week, which that'll be cool to have both you guys on here talking, but to be a part of it, and we've talked about it, I know, once before, but that it's an iconic moment that, man, oh man, once a year, it's going to blow up.
It is, man. It is. And I had tweeted out to Christian yesterday, that was a legendary shot, legendary play, man. And it gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. This is one thing to be a fan that was watching it, but to be a player and actually relive, those last few seconds and just the adrenaline that was pumping through your blood is just, man, it gives you chills every time. But that's something that will always be a legendary moment in Indiana basketball history, man. And I think more than anything, people always ask, well, why is everyone so excited? Why is everyone, it was just one game. It wasn't a championship. It wasn't this or that. But you have to have been on the ride with the Indiana basketball team the previous 3 years to truly appreciate that moment and that shot. It was just coming from where we came from and really try to rebuild the integrity of the program. And they get to that point and beat that shot. And it was magical, man. So, I'm hoping we can continue to build on that magic. I don't want that to be the best play of the last 9-10 years. I'm ready for our Hoosiers to get in the Final Four and win the championship so we can have another story to build onto it.
Any chance that you take that shot instead of passing to Christian?
Yeah, probably. Probably if he didn't yell my name, I probably would have shot it. I would have.
Oh.
You can even tell if you watch the film. I give a quick glance at the shot clock to see how much time we have left. And right when I was doing that is when I was hearing Christian call my name. So, it was more of an act of faith on just passing it to him. But, once the play kind of broke down, I was looking to make a play.
I just happened to see a clip the other day. I think maybe it was on Big Ten Network or whatever, but it was you and Christian both. They were talking to you about it, and it was talking about I don't think I'd ever seen that before, but you guys had really broken it down. But just everything has to happen the way it happened. There cannot be one person step in front of you to move you. Nothing can change anything for that perfect moment to become perfect. That's what makes these moments so great. And it is just crystallized in memory in Indiana legend. It's just one of those things that, man, it's probably one of the top 3 moments in all of Indiana basketball. And I know that you're going to say, the national championships. I'm talking about a moment. When you talk about a moment, it's probably in the top 3 moments in all time of Indiana basketball. And that is saying something.
No, that's truly a blessing to even be considered one of those moments, And I think, like I said, man, this, from the response from Twitter and social media and things like that, it just wasn't on the court. It was what the whole Indiana fan base experienced that night. It was a time to really celebrate. We haven't had a chance to really celebrate like that in a while leading up to it. So. It's something that people always talk about. And, it's one of those where were you at moments when that happened. And I just love hearing the stories about, people who are watching it in certain places and how they reacted.
It was amazing because I was not here either at that time. I was in another different town. But it's every place. It's whether it was Knicks or wherever, all these different moments that are just cool and iconic. It was just awesome. Yeah, because you can't create those moments. It's sad that the reason that moment was so big is because the program had fallen, and that's why you guys raised it back up, and that's why it was such a big moment. It's sad that big moment was needed, but hopefully they can continue to get forward now as the season has started. And talked about the other night fighting for that win against Florida State, but the season's going to be so up and down too, Verdell. It's like you never know when you're going to get to play. It's like, gosh, you keep practicing. And I saw something. It was the Boston College has opted out of a bowl game this year, and they're eligible, or everybody's eligible. But I mean, they're a team that there's no reason for them not to, other than the athletic director said, "Look, these kids are just tired. Man, they've been through this, practicing and practicing. They've had one COVID outbreak since July, I think, in BC. That's hard work. That takes effort to do all that. And they haven't hugged their family in 5 months. And they said, so you want us to go out and practice for 3 weeks now, hoping that game doesn't get canceled. And it's like, they're not going to do it. And I'm like, wow, it makes complete sense. I couldn't believe somebody would turn it down a bowl game that's eligible, not like LSU and their crap being 3-5. Yeah, we're 3-5. We're going to take ourselves out of bowl consideration. For the last 2 years, but yeah, BC. It's just, you want to talk about looking out for the best interests of student athletes. This is maybe the first time I think I've seen somebody do that, and this is, I think they all got together and made their own decision. Pat Kraft, by the way, is the athletic director at BC, former IU football player, IU alum. But yeah, I just thought that was unique. I saw that they're not playing no matter what, and it's because they're like, we're just tired of it, man. We're out. It's not worth it for one game, because their last 2 bowl games, one of them had like two 90-minute weather delays, and the other was some other crap like that. So they're like, oh man, it's not worth it for us. It's sad because bowl games are so much fun. They're such a reward. That's another thing they talked about. It's always such a reward, but where's the reward? You're quarantined. You can't go anywhere. There's no fans. Man, it's not much of a reward for them. What's in it for them?
It's not, man. And that's part, like you said, that's part of the bowl game. You're going to go and travel to wherever the bowl game is, go through the whole festivities of the bowl, seeing the fans, being to do all those things. And if that's not there, then, why? I mean, we're not playing for a national championship game, or if you're a program that, hasn't made a bowl game in a long time, and that's one thing. But for the rest of the teams, I think their safety and some of the player fatigue that COVID has caused probably outweighs the good. So, it's just a crazy year this year. It really is. Just the way the whole COVID situation happened, the way everything is changing. And like you said, I'm just hoping that we have a full basketball season. I was watching a coach of Chicago State, I think, recently. They were traveling somewhere to play, and he opted out. The head assistant coach decided to stay home with his family. I think they had like half the team going, and one of the third assistant went, So it's just like, man, like, if this is going to be a situation that happens, I'm just interested to see what kind of season we really have. Is it going to be a season with all of our teams, or is it going to be a season with just the Power 6 teams, So we'll see what happens.
We've seen Mike Krzyzewski suggest that why should we be playing? Of course, he's only suggested that because he's lost back-to-back games at home to Big Ten teams, and he knows they're going to get killed this year. Oh yeah, let's not play. I don't think we're ready. Yeah.
Right. It's funny how that goes with Duke and LSU's and those powerhouses. How we'll chill this year. We won't. Yeah. For the safety.
Yes. Just for the kids. It's for the kids.
Right. Right.
Hey, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com is going to join us. We'll talk some IU basketball, get you up to date on the recruiting. Later on, AJ Guyton will be with us. We'll talk about, he's got a new pod out with Isaiah Thomas, another Illinois guy. It's going to be an all-Illinois guy today, man. We're going to be all Illinois up today. But you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat. We're coming to you for hole number 6 here at the Golf Club Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. We're back with more right after this.
Selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs, Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Young Alec.
Hey, this is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're now a part of the Rivals Network. TheHoosier.com is where you'll find complete coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, as well as coverage of the Big Ten. Simply go to TheHoosier.com and sign up. It's free. You can also catch Indiana Sports Beat Radio there each day at your convenience, or you can find it any place you podcast or on this station each weekday. If we're not on the station where you live, we should be. Ask for Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the Golf Club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
Does your bank offer the personal service of a community bank combined with big bank products that you expect? I'm Dane Chandler, Banking Center Manager with Banterra, and with our bank, you get the best of both worlds. Our easy-to-use mobile app includes conveniences like mobile check deposit. We offer competitive CD and money market rates, smart mortgage options, and unmatched business products and services. Switching to Banterra is easy. Stop by our locations to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The college and pro football seasons bring friends together, and Leroy's Tavern is a place to watch all the games every week with the NFL Sunday Ticket while enjoying $1 Busch Light drafts every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Leroy's Tavern also features a $6 daily lunch special from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, featuring a sandwich, fries, or onion rings, or a 7-inch pizza and a non-alcoholic drink for just $6. Be part of the karaoke fun every Friday and Saturday night. Leroy's Tavern, a West Side tradition for 50 years at 2659 Mount Vernon Avenue.
This is former Indiana basketball player Brian Evans, and you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat here on this Friday. Alec Lasley from TheHoosier.com joining myself and Verdell Jones now. Alec, how are you, sir?
Good, guys. Happy Friday. How you doing?
Happy Friday. We're here. I'm here. Verdell's here. We're alive and well, and try to get to the weekend, and hopefully we'll have some sports to watch as the bucket game was canceled. Indiana-Purdue, that football game canceled, of course, we know. I saw that Oklahoma-West Virginia canceled as well. That's a big game for the Big 12 Conference that has implications in college football playoff, the votings and all that. A lot of stuff getting canceled. Basketball, Indiana not set to hit the hardwood again until Sunday. Hopefully that no problems with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think everything's gone as smooth as it can for at least IU to start with the travel to North Carolina, and then obviously back. And then back down to Florida, and then back to IU again. So let's hope that they can get that game on Sunday, and then we'll see what happens with the Butler game. Obviously, they're still kind of shut down due to COVID reasons. They've only played that season opener so far, so this could be the last non-conference game on Sunday, and we'll just see what happens with that Butler game coming up.
Butler also canceled the women's game with Indiana. Indiana women was scheduled to play Butler. That game also canceled. So, we could be going into Big Ten play then for Indiana. And what we saw, Verdell, against Florida State was probably similar to the style of play that they're going to be facing this year against these teams. Illinois, Iowa. Man, Iowa. I thought Illinois was going to be the team, maybe the top of Iowa. They're saying, no, not so fast, my friend. They look really, really strong. Either guys.
They did. I watched Illinois play the other day, and they looked impressive. But Iowa just looks, man, they look poised. They look really good. I think Garza didn't have a great game, but the rest of the guys really stepped up. So it's going to be a challenge for the Hoosiers, man. The Big Ten is never easy, but this year those premier teams are looking good. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I like going to that next game. Yeah.
If Iowa can hit 17 threes in most of these games, they're going to beat anyone in the country. So we'll see if they can continue to shoot like that. That's kind of the way that North Carolina wanted to play, was shut down Luka Garza, which they did. He was only 6 of 20 from the field, so you could kind of see what happened there with those shooters being wide open. So we'll see what Iowa can do game in and game out, but that's definitely a strong statement early on for the Hawkeyes.
There, Trace Jackson doing a pretty good job. Pack it in. They're going to just collapse around him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just kind of go over that Florida State game a little bit. I mean, looking at how IU was able to not only kind of counteract the kind of size and the length that Florida State had, I think that was definitely something to take away from that game. Obviously, you could tell rebounding still a major issue and a major flaw that IU has moving into the Big Ten. But one thing that I think you can take away is they weren't as outmatched that I think a lot of people thought they were going to be. Obviously, you look back to that Texas game, and a lot of people thought that's kind of how that Florida State game was going to go, especially after that quick 8-2 start for the Seminoles. But the way that IU was really able to kind of regroup, get punched a couple times, and then actually go out and punch Florida State in the mouth, I think that is something really to take away when you go to Big Ten play, when there are going to be teams that go on a lot of big runs, and you're going to have to be able to obviously respond in a big way.
Better name. Riddell, do you agree with what Alec has to say?
No, absolutely. I think games are full of runs. So if you, it's all about being able to withstand runs and then put on your own run. That's even better. I think Indiana did show that against Florida State, which they didn't show against Texas. So that means that you're seeing signs of a growing team. And that's positive. You always want to go into the Big Ten with momentum. And I think if you keep on building on what they've had from Florida State, from the Maui Invitational or whatever, I think they have a lot of things they can continue to build on. I mean, I know fans are upset with the losses, but the little mistakes or the little changes that need to be made are really minuscule. And if you can get those things fixed going into the Big Ten, I think you can get some big time wins. I do.
Well, and they're going to have to. Right now they're picked to finish 8th, but that's only because that's how strong this conference is. That means you're going to have to bring your A game every night, and that's going to be a grind. I mean, that's hard. We talk about, in high school you've got intense moments in games. In Division I college, you have just intense games. It's intense all the time, and you've got to be able to keep that intensity up and to do that game after game once you get into conference play, because there is just not a night off. Verdell, that's got to be the most difficult things to do mentally for an athlete.
It is. I mean, especially you mix traveling in and in school and practice and all those things, and then to get to that game, and like you said, it's a dogfight. It's not like, I'm just we had this little 10-minute stretch. No, the whole 40 minutes is usually a dogfight, and you're leaving out of that game just dead exhausted. But that's where the mentality comes in. That's where your mindset has to be created in the off season, because it is the whole Big Ten season is nothing but a dogfight. So, I think that, like I said before, guys like Trace Jackson Davis and people like that, those are the horses that you got to keep on just building and playing off of. And I think he's playing at a high level right now. And if he can continue to do that, it's going to make it a lot easier for those other guys.
Yeah,
I think what's up next.
Yeah, I think one thing just to touch on, I think a lot of people are realizing just how important Joey Brunk is to this team. Obviously, he hasn't played yet this season, and I think last year and going down the stretch last year, a lot of people were calling him to kind of sit more on the bench than actually play because of the emergence of Race Thompson. Obviously, this year you see both Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson really dominating that paint and really kind of asserting themselves as, the main front court in the Big Ten with Iowa and Illinois. But Joey Brunk is a very crucial piece to this team. The physicality that he can bring to the floor, especially in the Big Ten, especially matching up against, that Illinois front court, Luka Garza as well. Obviously, Michigan State, Michigan, Wisconsin, a lot of these other teams with more of that physical style of play. That's going to be something that's going to be very crucial whenever he can get back. And just as of now, it doesn't sound like he's going to be back in the next couple of games. So that's just something to keep your eye on. And when he does come back, that's just obviously an added boost. So you don't have to see 35, 37 minutes out of Race Thompson and Jackson Davis night in and night out. Because if you do, IU's not going to finish in the top 5, 6 in the conference.
Verdell, the freshman, always difficult for freshmen to come in and break in and get in and get up to speed, but they have to. You don't have a choice, especially this year. They're shorthanded. Just talked about not having Joey Brunk, and not freshmen are in that playing his position, but you still all hands on deck. More Christian Lander and Trey Galloway thus far. Todd Leary on the postgame show talked about really needing to get more out of these freshmen, but it's a difficult year. These guys has been flattened. You've got to get up to speed faster, less games. Very difficult for a freshman to do all that.
It is, and especially, like you said, especially for this year, the kind of the preparation stages and everything leading up to the season was kind of abbreviated this year. And that time right there is huge for a freshman. Just we getting the physicality of the game together, getting the speed of the game together. All those little things is what helps a freshman be prepared for their first season. I think with that kind of being abbreviated this year, I think you can see a little bit of the effects. But at the end of the day, Christian Lander especially, he moved himself up from a junior to really a freshman in college. So I think he's getting to experience a little bit of how physical and how fast the college game is. I didn't know until I actually played my first game how fast it was, how physical it was, how people are moving so much quicker than in high school. So, he's a great talent. And his IQ level is high, off the charts. I think the more games he plays in the Big Ten, the more comfortable he'll get. I think at the end of the year, you'll see a whole different Christian Lander.
Yeah, and just to touch on that too, most of the time these freshmen coming in get 3, 4, even 5 games under their belt before they play significant high major opponents and being thrust into Maui right away. And then obviously no real rest and then going right to Florida State. And then maybe one other game before Big Ten play. That's one thing you have to look at too. And Verdell, I'm sure you can talk about even the difference between a low major D1 program to a mid major, and then obviously a high major, but then even more specifically that physical play in the Big Ten. So, I think people need to still slow down with, kind of jumping quick to the gun here with Christian Lander. He's very good. He's going to be very good, but you do need to give him some time to adjust not only to the speed of the game, but again, the fact that they're playing this high level competition right off the bat with a very short summer to kind of get adjusted to the college game.
Absolutely. Those preseason games against the D2s and the D3s, those are to help prepare mostly the freshmen, just to be able to get and understand, okay, even the D2, D3, it's way more physical and faster than high school, Then when you play those first few kind of playing games against D1 teams, you're like, okay, they're a little bit faster or better than the D2 guys. And then you go to that Maui and you get to see firsthand, okay, these elite guys are here and, the mid-level is here. You can just see a difference. And so, he hasn't had – the freshman this year period hasn't had the opportunity to have that kind of graduated elevation of talent level to play against. So for him to go right in right away and his experience out the gate, it's tough. It's tough, but I mean, he's a talented young guy. So, like Alex said, I mean, let's just pump the brakes on really depicting what his future will be and let him develop a little bit more. And I think going in, if we continue to have a season going in the second semester, you'll see a huge difference.
Absolutely. And North Alabama on Sunday, one of those games that we talked about. Unfortunately, it's coming after you've already had to play in Maui. You've already had to go to Tallahassee to play Florida State. It's like getting a lunch break a day after going to work, man. But this is the kind of game that they need to work on things and work through things, especially as Alec noted, you're not going to have Joey Brooks. So it's going to alter how they attack now because there's no replacement for him. You don't have another guy you can put in his place, so you're going to have to change some things, Alec.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think it's so crucial to get him back. Obviously not for the North Alabamas or the Tennessee Techs, but when you get into Big Ten play right off the bat, you're going to tell right away if he is back, just how big of a factor he's going to play. And again, it's not necessarily the numbers that he puts up, but it's the rotation of the bigs and obviously allowing Race Thompson and Trace Jackson Davis to get some rest, have their legs when it comes down to, the last 2-3 minutes of the game when they will be in there. So they can get that extra rebound or they can get that extra putback. We saw against Florida State, they had 6 chances to win the game in just regulation. A lot of that was because of those long rebounds and then that front court not able to get the rebounds because they'd already played 33, 34, 35 minutes in the game. So that's where you're going to see it really impact IU for the better.
Absolutely. What's coming up next for the Hoosiers after Northrop? I'm trying to get the schedule pulled up. See who they
go. Obviously, that Butler game. We'll see if that happens.
The Butler game was canceled. So then we're looking at going into conference play. Then that's with the Butler game was not. And I don't know that they can get that rescheduled. They could, but Northwestern at home is scheduled to be the first conference game. Opens up on the 2 days before Christmas there, so it gives them a little time. If they don't have that Butler game, it gives them a little more time to practice, but more time to heal. But Verdell, what are you looking for right now? You played a couple of games. You've got a Butler game that's canceled after Sunday, so you're going to have a big space. Do you want that practice time, or would you rather be playing?
I think get that practice time in. I think the North Alabama game, like we said before, is a great game for our freshmen now. Okay, really good for Christian and Galloway, those guys to really get a lot of minutes up and down. Getting a rhythm. You always want to go into the Big Ten with a rhythm, and I think for me especially, our first 3 years we never had a rhythm going to the Big Ten until our senior year, and that always carries over. If you go in confident and you win those first couple games in the Big Ten, your whole mentality going forward is different, and I think you build that in practice. And you build that. Get everyone healthy, getting their mindset together. Brushing off the couple losses that they have, and just really coming together as a unit. And I still believe that we're sitting in a really good place. Both 2 tough losses to ranked opponents, but great learning lessons from them. So this next week, while you have off, is a great opportunity to learn.
That's up. So what's up next, Alec, besides North Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, this weekend, the Forum tip-off, so kind of switching gears to some recruiting stuff. One of the best events in the Indy area, usually year in and year out, loaded field, but the nightcap, the last game, is going to be Lawrence North against Cincinnati Muller. So you'll get CJ Gunn, one of IU's top 2022 targets, going up against 2021 signee Logan Duncombe. So that'll be fun. You got Jalen Washington, another 2022 guy, Leland Walker. One of the other matchups that IU fans probably won't like to really watch or listen to is Trey Kaufman going up against Caleb First. So that it's just a fun, good tournament to kind of watch and see some of these high caliber players going after each other.
Yeah, Verdell, that's a tournament that usually that I love to go to and cover. There's 6-8 of the top teams usually playing, full 8,000 seat, high school gym packed. We're not getting that this year, as we all know. It's sad, but as long as those kids get to play these games, that's the most important thing. Because I saw something, Mike Krzyzewski talking about not wanting to play, but Tom Izzo said, you know what, these kids have been crammed up with their parents. Where the heck do you want to be? Where you want to be with your parents? Because an athlete wants to be an athlete. And I think that's the truth. They will let them play.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm super happy to hear they're having a tournament playing Indiana. I mean, Illinois is just dead right now. So I wish nothing but the best for those guys. And it sounds like a heck of a tournament. I mean, a lot of talent loaded in there. I wish I could go watch it. I do.
Well, maybe we'll have to stream that thing. But Alec, I think it's going to wrap it up. But what else is coming up for you next? What do you got for the people to read?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll take a look at some other storylines coming out of that Florida State game. Look ahead to North Alabama, and then look ahead to Big Ten play, where we'll obviously learn a lot about IU right off the bat.
You can find all that at thehoosier.com. Make sure you give it a follow. Give Alec a follow as well. I'll give you complete coverage of the Hoosiers right there. Alec, thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the weekend.
As always, Alec Lasley from thehoosier.com joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat. We got a lot more coming up. We'll be back from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday right after this. Governor Jones. That's got to be Governor Haston, Governor Jones. That's hilarious.
All right.
I see it happening. It's way off. I'll probably be dead and gone by then, but
I hope not, man.
When you guys get old, you'll be old men.
You're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area, or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Hey, this is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're now a part of the Rivals Network. TheHoosier.com is where you'll find complete coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, as well as coverage of the Big Ten. Simply go to TheHoosier.com and sign up. It's free. You can also catch Indiana Sports Beat Radio there each day at your convenience.
Hey, Noah, I got a new commercial for Eagle Point.
If you're not on the station where you live,
I think you guys can start using that one instead of the other.
Sports Beat Radio.
Don't delete the other one. Save it.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make it tea time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
Does your bank offer the personal service of a community bank combined with big bank products that you expect? I'm Dane Chandler, Banking Center Manager with Banterra, and with our bank, you get the best of both worlds. Our easy-to-use mobile app includes conveniences like mobile check deposit. We offer competitive CD and money market rates, smart mortgage options, and unmatched business products and services. Switching to Banterra is easy. Stop by our locations to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The college and pro football seasons bring friends together, and Leroy's Tavern is a place to watch all the games every week with the NFL Sunday Ticket while enjoying $1 Busch Light drafts every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Leroy's Tavern also features a $6 daily lunch special from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, featuring a sandwich, fries, or onion rings, or a 7-inch pizza and a non-alcoholic drink for just $6. Be part of the karaoke fun every Friday and Saturday night. Leroy's Tavern, a West Side tradition for 50 years at 2659 Mount Vernon Avenue.
Oh.
Hey, this is Jordan Hall, former Indiana Hoosier. Keep up with Indiana sports on Indiana Sports Beat.
Welcome back. We are back in black here on this Friday. Indiana Sports Beat coming to you. Jim Coyle, Verdell Jones sitting in. I'm just reading some comments, Verdell, laughing about, we talked earlier about Mike Krzyzewski saying that, we shouldn't be playing now. And They asked Alabama coach Nate Oates about it. He says, who? Yeah, well, that's part of the fun here. He says, let me ask you something. Do you think if Coach K had lost those 2 non-conference games, or he had lost those 2 conference games at home, he'd still be saying that? That's coming from another coach. That's awesome. You love to see that, man. It's so funny. Yeah, Kentucky's 1-3, Duke's 2-2, 2 non-conference loss back-to-back at home. Now the world is right.
It's all back together
again.
Right. Exactly, man. Exactly. It's just, it's crazy how the those top programs just get a little bit of a more headline or more say so in how things go. But like Coach said, if Duke would have won both of those games, you wouldn't have heard a peep out of Coach K. So, it's how it goes sometimes.
Well, the Big Ten on day one of the ACC Big Ten Challenge, the Big Ten goes 6-1. The only loss was Purdue after blowing a 20-point lead. And then Krzyzewski, like I said, they've lost back-to-back games to Big Ten teams. Big Ten looking strong, as we've talked about. And I think that the rest of the country is starting to see that. But it's so funny. They're like, we're not good this year, so we don't want to mess with it. What a cop-out, man.
Yeah, that's no way to go out, man. And you can't tell me that his players on his team don't want to play. That sounds like maybe a decision made by Coach K. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But I mean, any real hooper or any real athlete, especially during this time where you've been cooped up, you want to go play, man. So even if you lost, strap them up and go compete.
Let's see, Duke. Oh, I didn't know this. They're canceling their non-conference games.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I guess I missed that. Is that was that statement? I didn't realize they were doing that.
Yeah, they were. I believe that what I saw, they were canceling all the rest of the non-conference games and waiting until conference started back up. So, it's unfortunate.
Duke's next scheduled game is now an ACC matchup, December 16th against Notre Dame. Next non-conference game was scheduled December 19th against Gardner-Webb, but God forbid Gardner-Webb go in there and beat Duke. That would they just have to shut the world down, man. They've already beat Kentucky a couple years ago. That was awesome. Yeah. It's so funny when you see it. It happens to Indiana. It happens to everybody. Richmond, they got Indiana a long time ago in the NCAA tournament, but got Kentucky here recently. Man, when those guys get to slay a giant, Evansville last year, it's so gigantic for those programs. We're looking at it for Richmond. It got Richmond ranked. Right off the bat. So and the attention it gets you for those, because we see what it does for Indiana, and that's gigantic for that program. But Indiana dwarfs these other programs, so you can imagine the Richmonds of the world, how much it means to them.
Oh, absolutely. Those are, so for some of those teams, that's their national championship game right there. Being able to face a Kentucky or go on the road at a Duke and compete. So, even in our first couple of years, we might not have been the ranked team, but we had the IU on our jerseys, and so teams wanted to come in and beat us. And I think we lost it was at Northeastern or something like that, and that was their national championship game right there. So for a low mid-major to come in and slay a top dog, man, it's always huge for a program. And if it's not against us, I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. And I'm just looking forward to see how the season's going to go. I've talked about, we got a good indication during football season. I talked about this yesterday with Dustin, Judy, because you think of the Michigans and the Ohio States and the Penn States that has these 100,000 seat stadiums, it makes a big difference. Assembly halls, the Mackeys, it makes a difference. We don't know what is zone and all that. What's it going to be like? Conference play is going to be so difficult already. But now you're adding the fact that there's no fans, so you're kind of just jumbling it up. I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's just going to be crazy. I think it's just going to be you never know what the outcome is going to be this year.
I agree. I think, man, you really don't understand unless you're a player the difference it makes to have fans in the stand. I played with Aaron Kraft from Ohio State when I was in the G League, and he would say, he's like, man, I hated coming to the Assembly Hall and playing you guys. He was like, the fans there are by far the best in the league. And that always gave us an advantage every single time. It was hard to play at Michigan State because their fans were so crazy. So now taking that factor out and just playing, not having to worry about fans yelling your name or being there an hour and a half before the game, talking trash about you, you know what I mean? Those little nuances being removed, it really is just almost like a scrimmage almost now, you know, where it's my guys versus your guys. And I think personally you'll see a highly competitive matchup. But, you know, we just don't know. We really have no idea what it's going to look like. It could be sloppy. It could be great. It could be bad. You know, this is going to be an interesting year. But I'm just happy, like I said, that basketball is on. You know, the little break that we had from the NBA season to now, it seemed like the longest drought ever of something fun to watch on TV. So I'm super excited that it's back going.
Yeah, me too. In college basketball coming in a time where we need it. Winter's coming. Everyone, we're all going to be forced inside. Of course, the numbers are going to go up, unfortunately. But we really need sports. College football has been great for us. I think it's been great for America. Could you imagine if we didn't have sports going through this pandemic without sports, how horrible that would be for life? I mean, man, that would just suck.
I mean, I think you look at it from the spring into when the NBA started back up, there was just nothing on TV and people were going through it. I remember the first live sporting event, I think it was a UFC match. And I was locked in, just so excited there was live sports again, you know. So, I mean, I'm praying that we have a full season, because this winter is going to be cold, and if COVID and everything is shut down still, we're going to need some entertainment. And to me, there's no better atmosphere than college basketball. I mean, or college sports, period. You know, this is when everyone, no matter what background you come from, or what race you are, or what class you come from, you all coming together to cheer on your sports team. And I think sports has always been a unifier in the world, and I think that's what we need right now more than anything.
Yeah, especially since you can't do anything. You can't. It's like if you could go places and do stuff without having sports, it'd be one thing, because that would be even better, because you'd be forced to maybe have conversations and do things like that you're not doing. But you can't. You can't go anywhere. You can't go visit grandma. You can't go do all that stuff. And so hopefully, man, the vaccine's closer, not there. I don't know if that's just going to be a cure-all. That's another question. What will next year look like once we get the vaccine? And I promise you, there's a question of people, will you get it? Hell yes, I will push 10 people down to get that thing. Right here, baby. Right in the arm. I'll take it right now. Yeah, I'm not afraid of it. I don't want to catch COVID. But I'm just curious as to what changes are going, because they're not just going to stop doing everything they're doing now. Even when the vaccines come, I wonder what next year will be like from a fan perspective, what all the things that are going to change from this. And there will be permanent changes.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever go back to how things used to be, especially with the sporting arena. You know, they might make it to where you have to have a vaccine to watch a game. You know, we really don't know. You know, this. I think over the next few months through this winter, we'll have a good idea of how deadly the virus is or can be. And then as far as the vaccine, like I said, I think people are, you know, they might have to use a vaccine to come in and watch an Indiana game or to watch a Pacers game. You know, so we'll see how that dynamic works and how it affects people who don't take it. You know, so I mean, we have a fun 6 months coming up for sure.
Michigan State Virginia game was postponed. West Virginia, rather. No, it's Virginia. Michigan State Virginia. We talked about that. Man, I was looking forward to that game. You talk about an early season matchup. Defense of Virginia just against Tom Izzo. Period. Michigan State normally does not play that well early on, and of all seasons, in a truncated season where they've had less time to prepare, they look better than they normally do ever. And out of 15 seasons I can think back, well, maybe not that far, but 10 years of Michigan State, they just don't look good early, rarely.
No, they don't. They usually start slow. They usually rank super high, start slow, and then Izzo has them figured out when it's time to go into the tournament. But I mean, I just think, man, it's crazy. The Big Ten is just loaded this year. It really is, from the Wisconsins to the Michigan States, even the Michigan, Indiana. You know, it's a loaded league this year. And I wish it was a regular season with the fans, because that would make it even more special.
I'm just looking at another. We talked about this earlier. I'm not going to beat this to death because it's just not. Duke and Kentucky right now combined 3-5. Their wins, the 3 wins, have come over Bellarmine, which just began Division I play, Coppin State, and Morehead State. There's the 3 wins that those 2 juggernauts have been able to pull out of 8 games. That's just that is what we can expect. Now you think that these teams are going to get better. But that's a long hill to climb. That's usually you see them lose a game and it kind of wakes you up or whatever. They're mired in this. This is how they're playing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, especially for Kentucky, you know, man, we go back to the saying, like, you know, you have a lot of freshmen, you know, that you're depending on who don't really understand how the whole D1 situation works, you know. And the level of D1 basketball. And if you don't have those preparation games or a long you know, all season to prepare, it can be tough. And I think that's what you're seeing with those guys. It's a whole different ball game when you get into the collegiate level.
The Big Ten, you know, much maligned, hasn't won a national championship. Is Michigan State the last? Trying to think, and that's the Big Ten Nationals, I think so. But talk about the Big Ten does not. We haven't done that. Is this the year? Is this? They're in. You got Michigan State now that is kind of reared its mate. Did say 3-headed monster along with Illinois and Iowa. Of course, I know that Baylor and there's some other good teams out there. But man, the Big Ten may be in its best position to win a national champion that it has been in over a decade.
No, I mean, like I said, it's very top loaded. The top of the Big Ten is loaded with a lot of talent, with a lot of you know, good coaching. But I think it's something that's always been the Big Ten's problem, is that you beat up on each other so much during the year that when it comes to that tournament time, you know, you're just kind of, you know, you're kind of beat up, kind of wore down a little bit, to where you have, you know, nothing against the ACCs and the Big 12s or anything like that, but it's just not as physical as the Big Ten. You know, it's a grueling conference where you're getting beat up every game for 18 games. And so, you know, if one of these teams can come out staying healthy and staying with the right momentum, then I definitely think they have a shot.
Absolutely. Looking forward to talking to AJ Guyton today. He had a new baby. You guys have been so sneaky. Adele's running for mayor one second. AJ's having a baby. I'm like, man, you guys are busy. They're doing so much. I'm looking forward to talking to him. He's been busy. He's got a new podcast out with Isaiah Thomas. Looking forward to talking to him about that, man. He's putting the good ones out. He's done like only 4 or 5, and they've been some good ones already. He's got Alfred and then Isaiah. Man, Calvert, he's gonna. Fortunately for him, he's got a long line of people he can go through. There's a lot of great people for him to talk to, but looking forward to that. Isaiah, that's a guy that, you know, when everybody came back for Coach Knight's visit this year, he was one of the guys back. And those are the guys you don't get to see back at campus very often. I mean, you guys live a little closer and you try to get back as frequently as possible, but Mark Cuban was there. You know, those big names, it's important to programs for the Isaiah Thomases to be in that gym. And I think it would help them if that happened a little more frequently.
Absolutely. I mean, those are our legends, or our Mount Rushmores, so to say, you know. So whenever those guys can come back and support and show love back on campus, it's always huge for the program. And I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The fact that Coach Knight came back and kind of bridged that gap between the old and the new, I think you'll see a lot more of those people coming. I mean, you know, the Indiana basketball history is so rich, so long. You know, we don't want to exclude any of those guys. We want to make sure that everyone is coming back, and that's the only way that you continue to build on those foundations, is by having those older guys come back and talking to the younger guys and talk about how it used to be and what it's like, you know, being a Hoosier. That's the only way that these new guys can really adopt and understand the true meaning of putting those candy stripes on.
Well, yeah, that and things like rivalries. I mean, I know some people think, oh, those are silly. It's not, man. You need that that connection. You need that connection to your school, and whether it's a school or if it was a professional team, it doesn't matter. What's professional is different, but schools, you need that connection. That you're not getting, you're not considered an employee, but that connection is what keeps you there and drives you. And I don't know, they're just fun. Or rivalries, they're just fun. I always enjoyed them when I'm playing. Enjoy them, if you're a fan of something, they're just fun.
They are. It just makes the season much more fun to play in and to watch. It's great for the fans. I wish they had the rivalry game coming up tomorrow between Purdue and Indiana football, just because it just adds more flair to the season. It adds more excitement. It adds more bragging rights among families, and those in-state rivalries are just special. So I hope that once this COVID thing dies down and that they come back and that they're how they used to be. And I really would like the Kentucky IU rivalry to come back for basketball. I think it's been almost 10 years now. It's time to, figure something out.
We'll talk about that in the next segment. Maybe is this the time for that to change too and come around? But you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat. We're coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. AJ Guyton should be joining us next. You're listening to Jim Coyle and Verdell Jones right now. We're back right after this. Well, you killed the Kentucky series, Verdell. I wish I thought of that a second ago.
I was thinking.
Find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 and Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Hey, this is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're now a part of the Rivals Network. TheHoosier.com is where you'll find complete coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, as well as coverage of the Big Ten. Simply go to TheHoosier.com and sign up. It's free. You can also catch Indiana Sports Beat Radio there each day at your convenience, or you can find it any place you podcast or on this station each weekday. If we're not on the station where you live, we should be. Ask for Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the Golf Club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
Does your bank offer the personal service of a community bank combined with big bank products that you expect? I'm Dane Chandler, Banking Center Manager with Banterra, and with our bank, you get the best of both worlds. Our easy-to-use mobile app includes conveniences like mobile check deposit. We offer competitive CD and money market rates, smart mortgage options, and unmatched business products and services. Switching to Banterra is easy. Stop by our locations to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The college and pro football seasons bring friends together, and Leroy's Tavern is a place to watch all the games every week with the NFL Sunday Ticket while enjoying $1 Busch Light drafts every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Leroy's Tavern also features a $6 daily lunch special from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, featuring a sandwich, fries, or onion rings, or a 7-inch pizza and a non-alcoholic drink for just $6. Be part of the karaoke fun every Friday and Saturday night. Leroy's Tavern, a West Side tradition for 50 years at 2659 Mount Vernon Avenue.
This is former Indiana basketball player Brian Evans, and you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat here on this Friday, coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, hole number 6. Colts in action on Sunday. Riddell taking on the Raiders. You got to say it like that. The Raiders. That should be an interesting game. The Colts have been playing well, and they're going to Vegas. Tough
Yeah,
place.
I got a family that live over in Indianapolis, and they're huge Colts fans. So they've been giving me a hard time about my Bears, and they've been bragging about the Colts. So it's been a rough 2020, man.
The Bears have not had a
Did you watch the Bears game? Did you see the last few minutes of the meltdown where we just we do what we do best and just give the game away? It was
that's being like an old IU football fan. That's what being an IU football fan was like for all that time.
It was a devastating week, man. Just to see the meltdown like that, and just I can't. It hurts. I tweeted this the other day. It really hurts my health to be a Bears fan. I feel like I age a year or two after every single loss because we just find new ways to lose good games. So we will play good, and we'll figure out a way to lose.
I love watching true pro sports fans, their teams when they're it's not funny in a way of making fun of, but it's funny because you understand. But when you see a Cubs fan or a Bears fan or whoever it is, it's just, oh man, we suck. It's terrible. It's fun. They really take such ownership, and you gotta love it. It's awesome.
I'm a Cubs fan and a Bears fan, so I've been let down for quite a bit now.
Well, hopefully Indiana football can help you out with some of that, changing things. It is cool when you see programs rise up that haven't been good. That's always a blast to see that as well.
It is.
So looking forward, and that'll be fun. It'll be fun to see next year. How does that help the fans? Does Indiana fill the stadium? That'd be interesting to see. AJ Guyton's sitting in joining us here in a second to talk about new for him. AJ, how's Papa doing?
Hey, Papa doing good. Papa went out of town for a minute, so I'm handling some business, but I managed to jump on. But we're doing good. She's keeping us up there all night, and as you guys well know, but it's been a blessing, man. She's healthy, and that's what's most important.
Verdell, Verdell, you're close by, so if you need any babysitting, AJ, Verdell's sitting there to take care of that, man.
Hey, that'd be helpful, Verdell. That'd be very helpful.
Well, you're really tired, so I think I'm gonna wait on that, man.
I was asleep shooting. I jumped up. I said, "Oh, I got something to do, so let me jump out here and get right."
Man, you're working you hard right now. Another podcast out for you, and another great one. I mean, God, everything you put out has been great. It's been awesome. Isaiah Thomas's last one. How much fun was that, especially for another Illinois guy?
Yeah, man, it was awesome, man. It was kind of a dream come true for me just to be able to talk to Isaiah and just have a candid conversation with him. So many parallels, so much in common with him. Growing up in Illinois and growing up the way we grew up, and also playing for Coach and signing to go to Indiana. And his story was compelling, man. I also told him to, redo the Mary Thomas show and give us an updated version of that, man, because that was big for us growing up. And so, but he was awesome, man, and did 2 parts. So he set the bar. And a guy like Isaiah can give me some time. Everybody better give me some time.
You got that right. Verdell being another Illinois guy, what was it like for? I mean, you can't speak for AJ, but he had to be the guy, Isaiah, man. I mean, what a legend, period. But then for you to come to Indiana and follow that has to just be cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's AJ and Isaiah and a couple other guys. I mean, those are all Illinois legends, and to kind of cross the board and become a Hoosier, they definitely set kind of the bar for some of the younger guys who did the same thing. But I've only got to listen to the bits and pieces of the interview, but I definitely have a plan to listen to the whole thing tomorrow. So I'm excited to catch up on it.
Yeah, it's pretty long, so listen to it in sections. But I think it's worth. I think it's worth the listen, though.
Now, I know you've met him before a couple times, I'm sure, growing up. But what was the reunion at IU? Was that one of the more times that you got to speak to him more? Or did that kind of open things up more?
Yeah, and it didn't. I reached out to him and I called him. Got his phone number from Quinn Butler, called him, and he was receptive from the beginning. And when he said it on the podcast, he said, Knight alumni are different in the sense that we don't call and talk all the time, and we're not always doing something together. But whenever you call, we always step up to the plate. I didn't think about that until he said it, because it was true. When I never met Steve Alford when I called him. That was the first time I talked to him personally. I played against him and said, good game to him, but I've never had a conversation with him. Calvert, I had talked to before on the phone, things like that. Archie and, then AJ Moye. AJ went to Indiana because of Coach Knight and called him. It was an instant, what can I do for you? So, I think all of us guys are from Indiana alumni, not just Knight guys, but he brought that point up. We all, make sure we look out for one another when we have platforms like this to help each other out on. And it was a goal from the beginning. So he was good at the reunion, but he was in and out at the reunion. I talked about that as well, how he flew in. He was only there for like 2 or 3 hours, and then he was gone because because that's how important that moment was for him. So. He's always, all these guys are outstanding guys, and they seem to be there for one another.
Yeah, that's something I never thought about. The Knight guys versus just everybody else. That is a different fraternity within the fraternity, and I really that's something that I didn't think of. But wow, it is a very different group.
It's a different group. You got to be different dudes playing for Coach Knight. you gotta have a different type of mentality to understand, and when we talked about it a little bit of how people think, they almost feel sorry for you when you say, hey, man, they say, are you HA guy? You're like, yeah, man. Dang, you play for Coach Knight, huh? How was that? It's like, man, like I had a traumatic experience. Like it was the greatest experience of my life. We had, like I tell people, I said I lived through 3 years of transfers and a lot of turmoil, but at the end of the day, I would do it all over again. I would handle those situations. I was young. I would handle those situations a lot different, than I did with just minding my business. I just minded my business back then. It wasn't me, so I'm here, but I'm handling them a lot different, and trying to help out in the situation instead of just minding my business. So it wasn't a traumatic experience. It was a great experience.
Verdell, for you, somebody who played in a different regime, what is it like to not be under that part of it, but to talk to people that were, but still a part of this IU basketball fraternity, and the differences and the experiences?
Man, it was always special when one of the so-called Knight guys would come and visit and talk to us, just because they were an example of when IU was at its highest, and on the other side of the coin, it kind of puts a shadow over what we're expected to do and how we're expected to kind of come out and play. And that was kind of tough sometimes. But man, anytime that one of the Knight guys came and talked to us, it was always special because you could just feel the energy that they had, and you just almost relive their own memories of when Coach Knight was coaching. So even though we're a different regime, we're all part of the same b-ball fraternity, and so it's always special when we get to have a chance to meet and talk with some of the Knight guys.
Shoot, Tom Crean have his share. He gave y'all his share of trauma as well. So he wasn't St. Mary out there. He got it in too. So I think all those coaches.
He definitely did.
That's another thing people think, that it's like, man, coaches are coaches. Let me tell you, because it doesn't matter if it's high school or college. Coaches are just coaches, man, and they're going to do what they're going to do.
Exactly. They are intense. The thing about it is, yeah, when you get into coaching, you can't play anymore. So it's almost like you become to another level of expectation and competitiveness because you can't do it yourself. And so you see the potential in somebody, and you want them to do it exactly the way you want them to do it. And you tell them 5 times, and they just don't get it. So you get ultra upset because you want them to be the best they can be. So, all these coaches are intense. It's a different time period, a different era. So it's not as aggressive. It's not as in your face. But you see those moments on the sideline with these coaches where they forget about the protocols and they go in a little bit and then they back up.
And both of you guys have gone on to do things that involve either coaching or being around kids or always working. But you both have seemed to take all the great lessons and weed out what you don't need. And that's been the amazing thing. I mean, people look at Mike Krzyzewski, how different he coaches and whatever. He was under Knight, played for Knight. But if you can weed out the things and use how you want to do it, you two guys are just a perfect example of the success that just comes from that.
But yeah, for me, coaching I'm not Bob Knight. I never tried to be Coach Knight. I always took the positives and the good things and great things from what he did. I'm not, from a screaming and hollering standpoint and yelling, and there's too much energy to expend for me. So I always just, made sure that I took the good things and I taught the game the way it's supposed to. I believe it's supposed to be taught, teaching the kids different ways to play the game. So it's just a great opportunity. I always love the mentor part of coaching, just being, just growing with kids and watching them develop and watching them have through difficult moments and then seeing their breakthrough or watching them graduate or whatever it is. So coaching is always in my system, and I'll be back in it at some point, but it's in my DNA of, just helping them over the kids. So that's what's most important to me.
Yeah, the kids are lucky for it. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear a clip of AJ and Isaiah. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, and we're back with more right after this.
How much time we got on a break?
You need to go?
I got 3 minutes. 3 minutes?
Oh,
All right.
Just go anytime, man. That's the great thing. Just go anytime.
Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway, Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs, Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Hey, this is Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're now a part of the Rivals Network. TheHoosier.com is where you'll find complete coverage of the Indiana Hoosiers, as well as coverage of the Big Ten. Simply go to TheHoosier.com and sign up. It's free. You can also catch Indiana Sports Beat Radio there each day at your convenience, or you can find it any place you podcast or on this station each weekday. If we're not on the station where you live, we should be. Ask for Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the Golf Club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
Does your bank offer the personal service of a community bank combined with big bank products that you expect? I'm Dane Chandler, Banking Center Manager with Banterra, and with our bank, you get the best of both worlds. Our easy-to-use mobile app includes conveniences like mobile check deposit. We offer competitive CD and money market rates, smart mortgage options, and unmatched business products and services. Switching to Banterra is easy. Stop by our locations to learn more. member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The college and pro football seasons bring friends together, and Leroy's Tavern is a place to watch all the games every week with the NFL Sunday Ticket while enjoying $1 Busch Light drafts every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Leroy's Tavern also features a $6 daily lunch special from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, featuring a sandwich, fries, or onion rings, or a 7-inch pizza and a non-alcoholic drink for just $6. Be part of the karaoke fun every Friday and Saturday night. Leroy's Tavern, a West Side tradition for 50 years at 2659 Mount Vernon Avenue.
Hey, this is Jordan Halls, former Indiana Hoosier. Keep up with Indiana sports on Indiana Sports Beat.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat here on this Friday. About to wrap things up. Noah, if you got that clip, let's hear a little bit of AJ and Isaiah Thomas.
And when he got on the floor, it was a beautiful moment. But to me, the best moment was how the student body who wasn't there for Kobe Knight's championship years, but they understood the moment. And this is where Indiana basketball is so special to me, because they understood the moment, and the student body rose to the moment and gave him that emotion and that standing ovation and that thunderous applause that he needed, that the school needed, basketball program needed. Only people who could really make that happen and make that moment right and that special, it wasn't us being there, AJ.
Right.
It was the student body who said, boom.
Yeah.
We're going to acknowledge this moment and make it happen
right
for these guys. And that was, to me, that was the most powerful, beautiful moment of the whole thing.
It was.
That's a great just hearing that, hearing Isaiah talk, that's not just a normal, average, everyday conversation you're going to get to hear anywhere. That is cool. It's deep, and that's what makes these things so fun.
Yeah, definitely, man. That moment was a special moment for the program, for fans all around the world. And, Isaiah, I think he articulated it very well. I mean, one thing I learned about Isaiah was that he's all Indiana, man. Like Isaiah's wife is Indiana. Isaiah sent his family to school at Indiana. Two or three of his nieces and nephews to Indiana. He's everything Indiana, man. So the passion that he exhibited, just talking about that, and being there in and out for that moment, man, it gave me another level of respect. Because he left after 2 years, and he wasn't there the whole 4. So sometimes guys get Hollywood, man, and they don't come back. And but this guy is, he even pointed to the red shirt he had on in broadcast, and was like, yeah, I do everything Indiana. I was like, dang, I didn't know that. So
I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah, they don't know.
He don't wear it. He's not wearing it on his sleeve, but obviously it means a lot. Listening to and hearing what you say about it, and hearing him talk, you can tell it mattered. It meant a lot, and I don't know that people realize how important that it is to all you guys.
Yeah, when you win a state title, and then you win a college title, and then you win 2 NBA titles, you got so much to celebrate in your life. So Indiana could get lost. I mean, celebrating Bad Boys, Detroit Pistons, celebrating whatever. So, but I think that was his opportunity to really talk Indiana basketball, to really dig deep and dive into why he attended Indiana, and to his relationship with Coach Knight and the ups and downs that he had. We joke about it, but at some point during your career, a couple times, you'll be ready to go. You're ready to transfer because it's getting crazy. So he was able to. We all, we go through that moment and we get through it, and that's what coaches are supposed to do. Supposed to push you through those moments. So man, it's so many jewels in that interview, man. I suggest everybody go to Spotify, Apple, YouTube, click the links and watch that and listen to it, man, because there's so many jewels right there in that conversation.
I can tell just from that little clip that we just heard. You can tell, like you said, that's a deep conversation, and it's one that you're not going to get any other time. You don't get the chance to hear an Isaiah talk about IU that much. And as Verdell said, he's one of the Mount Rushmores.
Right.
And man, you want to that connection, and the fact that some of these guys don't get to have conversations like you talked about, not having conversations with some of these guys, bridging that gap. Verdell, how important is that for you? So again, you're outside of, you're in the basketball fraternity, but there's the night fraternity. But how important is just bridging all of those gaps with the players?
I think it's huge because, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to create a strong foundation for the program moving forward. And, you have to before you even understand Indiana basketball, you have to understand Knight's era because he's what made Indiana what it is today, as far as it being blue blood and having the legacy that it has. And so, by bridging that gap, it allows the newer players who are coming in, now and in 5 years from now to really understand what it means to be a Hoosier.
All right. AJ, you're doing these every week, and they're going to keep being this great. That's going to be tough to keep up with but this one may be the best yet. And like AJ said, go to Spotify, wherever you podcast, Apple, doesn't matter. You can find his Field of 68 podcast, or follow him on Twitter. Make sure you follow AJ on Twitter. He'll follow you back. He made that offer. So, man, this is just good stuff you guys got to listen to.
Oh, definitely, man. Field of 68 Podcast Network, House of Hoosiers. Type that in, it'll pop up. Make sure you click the link, leave a message, man, and check out the other interviews as well. I mean, we just keep getting better. Came out swinging. Definitely got some more fun surprises for people as well. So, just a good moment in time, a good opportunity to get a candid. Have candid conversations with these guys and learn more than just about their stats and where they went to high school, things like that. You learn more about our guys and get closer to them. So it's an exciting time.
AJ, you didn't get to be with us last week, so I'm going to catch you up real quick. Verdell, he's running for mayor, but they screwed him out on a technicality. I don't know if you heard about that. So we were talking about that earlier. It's very disappointing, but he's going to stay strong, come back. But you, on the other hand, just had a baby, or your wife just had a baby. Congratulations on with all you got going on. Now you got a baby to the mix, man. Busy times, but congratulations.
No, it's a good time to be busy, man, with what's going on in the world, to be active and to be involved in something is always a great thing during this time. So, the baby is she's healthy, she's good. Baby McKenna, Janelle Guyton, you definitely call her MJ at the end of the day. She's doing well, man, and we're excited about her as she continues to just eat, sleep, and poop. That's just what they do, the first month. So, I heard about the run for mayor. I didn't hear about a technicality, so that means you're not running this year. You're gonna wait till next year.
Well, we had originally planned on doing it in 4 years, but AJ, you deal with the young people, man. The status quo of what's going on right now. If you wait for 4 more years, there might be some irreversible things. So we decided at the last second, and they hit us with a technicality on our hearing on Tuesday. So we'll see what happens in 4 years. Timing is everything, man. So I'm back to enjoying marriage and enjoying coaching kids up.
Yeah, and he tried to cut his foot off, AJ. He was doing a honeydew list and got up on a ladder, one of those adjustable ladders, and it came crashing down on him, and he's walking around in a boot right now.
Oh, yeah, man. Okay.
Last 4 weeks have been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, due time, man. Now you get an opportunity to observe and now you can reverse some of those things that they're trying to put in place to not reverse. So, I got complete faith in you, man. Did you get a chance to talk to Kirk Haston at any about politics?
I didn't. We were going to try to get him on today, talk a little bit, but he has something to do. So I'm going to definitely reach out to him and connect with him.
That's a good
I'll
thing.
try to get him on next week. Going to get Christian on. I was going to try to get Christian on too. He was busy this week, but looking forward to that. Ryan up in Whitmore, Lake Michigan, listened to the podcast with Isaiah. Said it was great. It's awesome. Make sure you go do that as well. AJ, can't thank you enough, man. I know you're busy. Go get some rest. You got the new baby. Congratulations to McKenna, Janelle Guyton. You guys, I'm so happy for you. It's a great time having a little girl. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it, man. Thank you for the opportunity, man. And keep pushing button on those podcasts, subscribing, House of Hoosier, and bringing a lot of good people into the house. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. AJ Guyton joining us here as we wrap things up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend. Go take care of that baby. Verdell, take care of that foot, man. I guess you can't be doing too many honey-do lists this weekend, but maybe get you a little chair. You're just those hoppers around. Put the tennis balls on the bottom of it.
Yeah. We got a 2-story house, so coming up to the office and going down to the room. It's been a whole process, man. So hopefully the next couple of days I'll be back to normal.
Yes, sir.
You guys can't take it up as well, Alex. Lastly, go ahead, AJ.
No, I'll just say get healthy. Get healthy.
Yeah, you guys have a great weekend. Everybody go out and do something nice. Enjoy the weekend. Please wear your masks. And until Monday, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio. Thank you, guys. I hope